Yo, 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 yo. It is the Rex and Panda Show.
Yo, it's the Rex and Panda Show. I'm Rex. We are back in this building. We back in this bitch and we back on this shit. And they told me be humble. We cocky as hell. Yo, it's Rex and Panda and we are back. Sorry for the wait. You know what I'm saying? But we back in this bitch. It's sorry for the wait. 3, 4, 5, 6. All of the sorry for the waits in here,
All of the sequels. But yo, we got some very special news for you guys. First off, I want to start by saying, yo, he's Rex and I'm Panda, and we got a very special episode for you. But we got some very fucking special news. Rex, what's that special news, man? Hit him with that news.
So,
hit him with the
you know
nudes,
what, guys?
The good nudes and the bad
nudes. If you are
nudes.
day ones, if you are a day ones, then you know that we've been hunting for sponsors for this show. Because, it's hard to, it's hard out here for a pimp when you trying to get the money for the rent. You know what I'm saying? So, it's hard out here for us pimps. So to do this and to deliver this wonderful content to you, we have to have people who can, help us out a little bit. And we found just the perfect partner for us. I want to introduce to you guys an amazing service, a service that can help you in your daily life like we know that it can. This sponsor comes all the way from down under. All right? Their names is Geico.
We're not talking about your mama's bush.
Yeah. We got Geico for that. Pause. No homo. So, look, Geico Insurance. This is the sponsor for today's episode. Hello there. Geico's Snakeo here. So we all know the LGBTQI ASAP ASOP YBN XXX Tentations and sometimes Oi.
Yeah.
But what about the straights? When things get sticky, Geico is literally like a titty. 2006, Dwayne Carter brushed which Martin Platinum rapper's lips? 1997, Eddie Murphy did what's in the trunk? Exactly. You don't remember, and that's why you need Geico Insurance. 15 minutes can save you 15 years of questioning your sexuality.
Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15 years in a federal prison with real gay niggas for catching a body because some guy called you a fag.
With that said, let's get into the Rex and Panda Show!
For sure, man. So I know the topic has been on everybody's mind because we all been living it, man. 2020 has been...
Talking about that.
Go ahead.
Coronavirus!
Yeah, I'm talking about the Rona, man. 2020's been the year of the Rona. Like the Chinese zodiac is like the rat, the pig, the dragon. This year's the year of the Rona. It's really been
maybe the year of the bat.
Been...
Just to keep it real.
So we wanted to just talk about that. Let you guys know what we've been up to in this quarantine.
Somewhere like plotting.
Yeah, he's just on a fucking rooftop somewhere. Like, I knew it's my year. Back-to-back theme song intensifies.
It's my time. Like fucking Quiet Storm is playing by Mobb Deep.
But I wanna give you guys a brief update on our lives in the quarantine. Past few weeks, I've been basically working from home, living that life. And I gotta say, man, I really don't want it to end. Not just because I've been able to have the privilege of working from home, but also because I think for most of us, at least, being under quarantine and being in a position where we've cut back to the essentials in our lives is probably putting in perspective. Really put into focus what's most important to us. I know there are some essential workers out there who have been.
Shout out to this one.
shout out to Rex. He's gonna give you his story in just a second. But there are some essential workers out there who have been really putting their lives on the line. And I think I think in the interest of them, man, I think that really shows us the value of their roles and how criminal. I'm gonna use the word criminal because it really is criminal that a lot of these people who are in these essential worker roles. We talking about, you know, the niggas at your local Walmart. We talking about people at your CVS, your pharmacy and shit like
Hospital
that.
workers.
How underpaid hospital workers, well, although most hospital workers usually make a decent bag, but even still, how underpaid that they are. It is criminal how underpaid that they are. And I think I hope that this event has opened people's eyes and made them realize that, yo, we really need to pay these niggas what they worth, just straight up. But yeah, man, Rex, how's your life in quarantine been, man?
My life in quarantine, I haven't had a life in quarantine. So like I said, I'm an essential worker.
No hot girl summer for you?
No hot girl spring, no hot guy spring. It's been business as usual. Actually, it has not been business as usual because people have been losing their dog minds out here. They've been going crazy. So they've been going crazy, and it's really been telling about how people will react in a pre-apocalyptic situation. And at my job, there's been several phases for how people have been reacting to it. I would say the first phase was panic. People were buying freezers to store all their excess foods that they were going to buy because they were thinking that grocery stores are going to run out of food. And I will say that people ended up running out of food, but that really wasn't the first thing to go. Surprisingly, it was shitty paper. Charmin, they basically turned into Chapo. You know, they had the plug, they had the product, they had that white. It wasn't the white that you was used to, but they had that white, and you couldn't get no Blanco for nothing. No matter where you went, the Blanco was on lock.
Straight up. Everybody was a fiend for that shit, too.
People were fiending for that little quilted square. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were fiending for that little 2-ply. Shit, they would have took it if it was 1-ply.
Fucking Tyrone Biggums intensifies.
Yo, no joke. I saw signs around where I live. All right, now I'm gonna tell you, where I live ain't the most like populous area. I saw signs around where I live. People had signs said, "Will work for toilet paper. Will work for TP. Will work for supplies."
Somebody don't tell Amazon that, because Amazon, that's their next hustle.
That's Amazon next hustle. Amazon was like, so guys, we've had a meeting, okay? And, you know, our Lord Savior Bezos has came to the understanding that there are some things that are more important than you guys' money, right? And everybody in the meeting is like, oh, thank God. Please, they about to say our health.
Right.
They about to say health is more important than money. That's why I can go home. Right. So that's why we have decided to pay you in the form of this 1-ply Dollar Tree toilet paper. Now, see, when you take this home, it's very important to double up. Because if you do not double up, your thumb will go straight through that 1-ply toilet paper and into your butthole.
Hey, somebody in the back
listen
is
to
like,
me when I say it's very important that you double up.
That roll looks pre-used. It got a little shit on it already. Well, that's right. That's right. We couldn't get you new toilet paper. That's only for the managers.
So I noticed that was the first phase in my job. I saw people panicking, and then the second phase where dumb people were acting like things were as normal, and they were coming in and just, you know, rolling, putting their life on the line, rolling them craps with their life. You know what I'm saying? And they was coming in. I had to buy my own mask and gloves at my job, which I will say is a multi-million-dollar corporation, out of my own pocket. I had to buy my own mask and gloves up until last week out of my own pocket. And that's really bad for 2 reasons. The first reason is that my job, one of their services that they sell is protective equipment, PPE. And they couldn't even supply that to their own workers, right? So, and they refused to supply it. They could do it. They just didn't want to. That was the first thing. And I had to buy that out of my own money in my own pocket. And I know that their reasoning behind it would be like, well, you know, there was all of this unconsensus with if masks and gloves were truly needed, if people were, overusing them, there wouldn't be any left for hospital workers and doctors and stuff like that. So
why are
my
they selling them
girlfriend,
to the general public? If they're that valuable, why are these buildings selling them?
Super fact. My own girlfriend, she had to catch a flight. During this whole pandemic, and one of the flight attendants had the nerve to tell her that, that mask ain't gonna do anything for you, right? That's not how the virus spreads. And let me tell you one thing, that bitch is dead wrong. That is exactly how the virus spreads. You coughing and everybody else around you inhaling it, or somebody else coughing or sneezing and you directly inhaling that into your mouth, or it coming in contact with your eyeball socket, or you touching a surface that stuff came in contact with and putting your finger up your nose. That's exactly how the shit spread.
Yo, that was a really specific example, putting your finger up your nose. You got something you want to tell me, bro?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, before the whole coronavirus pandemic situation, I was at what would be the abbreviation for this? PNA. You know what I'm saying? Picking Nose Anonymous meetings, and I had a real addiction to picking my nose, bro.
Hey, what you want to do?
I would do it anywhere, bro.
That flick the booger off your fingers, or did you just eat it?
Oh no, I was a flicker for sure. Flicker.
Okay,
Nah, never an eater. Never. It's very important. That's a really important distinction. So let me get back to this though. So the third phase of what I saw is that when people got this stimulus money, man, people were acting a fool. When I tell you I ain't never seen people cut up like this, I've never ever in my life seen people act a fool like they way they did. Like, let's go ahead and play that Rick Ross Wale Act a Fool right here. Let me get like a Maybach music one more time. Let me get a little yeah, let me get a ditty. Let me get a ditty. Like right here, cause that's how people were acting when this shit came on. In my home state, people were going, we had lines around the block for weed, for marijuana. Marijuana drug dealers was acting like this was Christmas. This is better than Christmas. You know what I'm saying? I bet police was out here acting like this is better than Christmas. I got more reasons to catch niggas than ever before in my life. Matter of fact, I got more reasons to shoot niggas because I'm not getting that close to arrest niggas.
Right. Big facts.
So those were the three phases that I saw kind of play out, how people reacted during this pandemic situation. There's a lot of different elements into it. Maybe Scott has some. Not Scott. Panda.
Oh, see, now we gotta bleep out the name Panda and shit. Maybe
Panda. How does Panda feel about
Rex said a whole nigga government and Social Security. I don't even know how he got that one. He was slick with it. The whole Social Security live on air.
Yeah, I'm about to drop it right now. It's
nah, man.
Okay, now we just gonna bleep that part. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. How do I feel about it, man? It definitely. See, I'm in a different position, right? I've been mostly home, right? And that's for a multitude of reasons. I basically got permission to work from home, which has been fantastic. So I didn't quite experience it firsthand the way that you experienced it with your job. But some of the things that I have noticed about the actually, I want to take it back. Some of the things I've noticed about the stimulus check is I don't think one is nearly enough. And two, with this quarantine, I think places are reopening way too early. I don't. Again, I'm not a motherfucking scientist. All right, this isn't the Rex and Panda research department. I don't have the data, but I do believe that there will be a second wave of the Rona in the fall during the flu season. And I think that
don't let nobody ride your wave.
Right. I think that could have been prevented though, had we continued to keep things closed throughout the summer, at least while they develop a vaccine or what's the other some sort of treatment for it. And you know what, Rex? We were talking earlier. You were talking about vaccines. And I thought this is just really, really fucking interesting. You were talking about vaccines and the trials for these vaccines. Now, word to the wise for all you anti-vaxxers, this is your cue to like close your ears or plug your ears, close your eyes, and scream la 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 as loud as you can, because we about to talk about some shit you definitely don't want to be in the room for.
I don't even think them niggas believe in Q-tips or the internet, so I think they good. Even they could hear is they have too much earwax in their motherfucking ears. They could probably make a whole artisanal candle with that shit.
On some Shrek shit.
Yeah, man.
You were saying about the vaccine trials in the was it the WHO or was it the United Nations? I forget.
So the vaccine trials are being conducted privately, and they're being developed privately by pharmaceutical companies.
I was way left.
Yeah. So I can get into that real quick. So these vaccines are being developed by the Big Pharma are developing these vaccines, right?
Yeah.
And some of them have already been deployed in America, and they've already skipped the whole year-long process of testing them in animals and all that whatnot, and they've gone straight to human trials in America.
Trials. It's just like turning on a movie in the last act.
Right, so this is one of those, like, I wouldn't say Quentin Tarantino, but one of those bullshit directors that wants to throw the ending at the beginning of the movie real quick, and then, like, be like, all right, now we just gonna explain everything that happened, like, to get y'all to this point. Right? Those usually are one of those movies where, like, the main character is narrating and be like, that's me, dying on the floor right there. I bet you're wondering how I'm alive and talking to you. Well, guess you're about to find out. Like, what? Title card. What? Is this nigga dead or is he not? So these vaccine trials are being developed and they're in various stages of operation globally. There's some in development in China. There's some in development in America. Some are already being tested in humans in America. But one of the biggest things is that Big Pharma wants to test these vaccines in Africa. And the reason why is because for the same reason that Big Pharma wanted to test treatment and medicine for HIV/AIDS in Africa, because they knew they had insufficient modes of protection. They were uneducated on the virus itself, and the government was unwilling or voluntarily not protecting its citizens. So that provided a perfect control group for as far as these are all of the elements that we need to see if this vaccine truly can fend off this virus, right? Or this medicine can truly treat the virus. Because with HIV, it's like, if I give you this medicine that stops this virus from, taking over your immune system to the point that you die, well, what happens if I make you repeatedly exposed to somebody who also has the virus, right? Is that going to hamper the medicine's ability to treat your virus, right? So all of these type of things, they wanted that to happen. They wanted people who were on the medical treatment to be re-exposed to people who did not have any type of treatment for HIV, so they could, see if the medicine could fend off reinfection, right? So that's the same type of process they want to conduct in Africa now with the coronavirus vaccine. And it's really telling about how Europeans view our continent and what they believe is they can get away with.
You're 100% right? You're 100% right. It is very telling on how they view black people. Let's just keep it real what it is, how they view black people. Whether it's a group here in the United States or it's the whole continent across the seas, this is exactly how they view black people as guinea pigs. It reminds me of the syphilis trials that they did back in like the 60s with the Tuskegee Airmen. How when a group of correct me if I'm wrong, man, I need the R&D department on this, but post World War II there were black soldiers that were returned home, and basically they were told that they were giving a vaccine to these people in the South, these black people in the South. What they really did was they gave them syphilis as a way to test it. That reminds me of that, but due to the fact that it's private companies and not just the government, I feel like makes it even more sinister, because there's no one who can really hold these private companies in check. They can't really be held accountable for their actions due to the way that we treat corporations here in the United States as individuals rather than, as business entities. I think that takes it to a whole nother level of being sinister. I know that in Michigan right now there are a bunch of protests, actually at the governor's, at the governor's office. It's like right outside the governor's office, where these armed men and women too. I think, I don't know. I don't really give a fuck. It's just armed people, straps out, Glocks out, dicks out, everything. They're just full on swinging. Are hanging outside the governor's office as a protest for them to reopen the state. Now, as of this recording, the state is going to be reopened. From last I was told, like middle of May, like May 12th. Right now, it's like beginning of May.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they'll push that back. Maybe they'll delay it. But I wanted to point that out, that this is another shining example of really, there's nothing else to call it other than white privilege. This is how Europeans, for lack of a better word, treat their own people in this country and other places, because these guys can show up to a government officials basically workplace. They're there 9 to 5, maybe more during
Strapped
the week.
up like they the Punisher.
Yeah, like they're literally like
me?
they're like all Call of Duty tryouts. You know what I'm saying?
Not only did they have the Call of Duty look, they had like the preset classes too. They had the assault rifle class, the sniper class, the SMG class.
They out there sharing notes. Yeah, see, what you want to do is you want to get the Simtex instead of the frag, because the Simtex sticks to the Negroes. They can't run away from that.
This nigga got the flak jacket perk on.
Right. They're really out there strapped up, and there's been no, at least to my knowledge, y'all can call me out on this, but there's been no one who's been arrested for showing up with assault weaponry at a government office. There's no one who's been arrested. There hasn't even been any type of engagement between the police, the authorities, and these people, where we all know, and let's keep it real, big facts here. This is Jay-Z, super facts. If the shoe was on the other foot and these were black and brown people, they wouldn't even make it through the front door. And I know this because where I currently work is the capital of a state. I'm not in politics, but I'm in the capital of a state. And in that building, I can't even get in without going through whole security measures. There's like fucking metal detectors. I gotta have my own ID, things of that nature. Let alone some random citizen. And people are, prior to the quarantine, the public was definitely able to go into these buildings. But I know when I worked there that I couldn't get in with a strap on me, whether it was concealed carry or if it was just hanging out. So I think that's a real shining contrast, where these private corporations are out here and they're willing to guinea pig black people, but on the other foot you got like literally armed militias at the door of a government official, and not even a private corporation or a government corporation has the balls to say, hey, y'all shouldn't really be here.
I want to say real quick that the Constitution, as it historically has, it still in the modern day protects white men in this country, particularly because they're able to bear arms without the threat of death in this country by the police force. And for the same reason that they were able to do it back then, because even though we have amendments to the Constitution that on paper say that we should be human, a whole man, and not a boy, like they referred to us in past times, we are still viewed as subhuman and not entitled to the same type of American treatment and rights that these men they have.
Talking about that American freedom.
Right. So they can still hide behind the Constitution and do, these forms of protest that they wish, and to be armed and say, well, come get it off my dead body. You want this gun? Come get it off my dead body.
But the Constitution's there, FUBU. It's for us, by us.
Right. Exactly. It should have been signed FUBU. You know what I'm saying? That is the first thing that I want to point out. And then the second thing is just that how these men are the perfect juxtaposition to historically what the Black Panthers represented. The Black Panthers were systematically targeted and dismantled by the FBI in this country for simply being militant. Right, having militant ideology, and a willingness to protect their communities and their neighborhoods from exterior threats. And for that reason alone, they were targeted and dismantled, whether it be the leader of the Black Panthers, who I believe was Huey Newton, or Angela Davis. So many different members of the Black Panthers were targeted. Angela Davis, to the point where she had to flee to Cuba. There were a lot of people in our own communities who were exterminated for just being militant. And militancy is celebrated in the white community in America, whether it be being part of the military or having the "Don't Tread on Me" snake on their front lawn, you name it. Being militant and even being these proxy civil militias that they have is celebrated in the white community. So that's what I have to say about that. And also shout out, one more thing I wanted to add, I want to shout out the Bayer Company, because they are back in the mix making these vaccine trials. And the Bayer Company is somebody we should keep an eye on for, because in the early 2000s, they distributed hundreds of thousands of tainted pills that were tainted with HIV to the American public and abroad. And these are the same people who are trying to make the coronavirus vaccine once again.
You know what I just thought of, man? If they're making this vaccine, they definitely gonna sell that shit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This definitely ain't gonna be no.
It's gonna be the Lil Wayne, T-Pain.
Hey there, little boys around the globe. I want you to come on down to Camp Touch a Pee-wee. And I want you too. And you. And you there too. The one who still sucks his thumb even though he's not. You've got some practice behind those lips. Ooh, and the one with cerebral palsy. It's even better when you can't run. Down at Camp Touch a Pee-wee, we have fun and games for all the boys. Games like Find the Popsicle in the Cellar or Marco Polo in the Hot Tub. Better keep your eyes closed. And parents, don't worry. Your boys will be learning all sorts of new and useful things. Like how to tie a cherry stem into a knot with your tongue. How to suck sea people out of a hose. How to take your temperature using my special rectal thermometer. Remember, kids, in order to get an accurate temperature, you have to rub the KY jelly on first. There's a badge for everything, including not telling the cops. So make sure your son gets them all down here at
Taking that.
Look, bro, when you see the dividend, when you see the
Questionable
dividend,
move, taking it.
when you see the dividend in your 50%, you're gonna be like, oh, I'll take another, please.
Oh no. Oh no.
Nah, man.
I'm
but
covered by Geico.
I want to wrap this up though, man. But I want to get any final thoughts from you, man. I know it's been a minute. 2020. 2020 is really come and gone so fast. Is there any like new developments, man? Just anything in your life you want to talk about, bro?
Yeah, man. So 2020 is happening strong. You trying to like max out my premium with this shit. Talk about coming on strong. You trying to max out my Geico premium. Man. You need to chill out with all that shit. Pause. So yeah, man, big things happening in 2020. I just want to tell all of our listeners and followers out there that please be responsible out here with your health and with your money. Make the most out of the opportunity that you have now, whether it be free time or free money that has been given to you. Make the most out of these opportunities because they may not come back again. And I also want to tell our followers and our listeners to please do your research and start planning now for an exit strategy. America does not give a fuck about you, all right? And I think this whole pandemic situation should have shown us all that America does not give a fuck about you. So therefore, especially if you black, you should have been known that. But if this didn't tell you, then I don't know what will. Maybe we need to, clink the teacup on your ass because you in the sunken place, G. All right? I want our people, you don't have to come back home. And what I mean by home is Africa. You don't have to come back home, but you need to get out of America. So go and start researching places and start opening your mind to that idea and making those plans, because when I tell you that there is a better life out here and there are opportunities for you to make a way for yourself in this world, and you do not have to struggle, and you can use what you have around you right now, your American passport, your American education, or your American dollars to your advantage, you can, and it will pay off, and it will take you much further in other places in the world. So that's what I want to pass on to our listeners and our followers.
I feel that, man. Well, you heard it here, man. This has been the Rex and Panda show. Rex, man, cap it off the way you do.
Yo, this has been the Rex and Panda show. I want y'all to know that we love you. We back. Yes, we've been deadbeat daddies. You know what I'm saying? On the Nicki Minaj tip, all these bitches is my sons, plural. Alright? And we've been deadbeat daddies, but we back. You know what I'm saying? We back. And we gon' talk it out. We gon' regrow this relationship. I'ma play a little T-ball with you. I'ma get a little, 5-foot basketball hoop for you to dunk on.
Yo, it's been the Rex and Panda show.